exactly what people have been loading up my comments with in my previous video about the Tower of Babel. And that's probably because in the Bible, when it talks about the Tower of Babel, there are some things that just aren't there. For example, let's go to Genesis 11, where it actually talks about the Tower of Babel. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound their language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Then it goes into these are the generations of Shem. So Genesis chapter 11 is just giving you 9 verses about the Tower of Babel. See, and this is the reason why it's so hard for you to wrap your mind around the Tower of Babel being a real thing, because there's only 9 verses in the canonical scriptures that talk about it. But wait, in the book of Jubilees, this is what it says. And they built it 40 years were they building it. Its breadth was 203 bricks, and its height of a brick was the third of one. Its heights amounted to 5,433 cubits in 2 palms, and the extent of one wall was 13 stades, and of the other 30 stades. And the Lord our God said unto us, Behold, they are one people, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be withholden from them. Go to, let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech, and they may be dispersed into cities and nations, and one purpose will no longer abide with them until the day of judgment. And the Lord descended, and we descended with him to see the city and the tower which the children of men had built, and he confounded their language, and they no longer understood one another's speech, and they ceased then to build the city and the tower. For this reason the whole land of Shinar is called Babel, because the Lord did there confound all the language of the children of men, and from thence they were dispersed into their cities, each according to his language and his nation. And the Lord sent a mighty wind against the tower, and overthrew it upon the earth. And behold, it was between Asher and Babylon in the land of Shinar, and they call its name Overthrow. In the 4th week, in the 1st year, in the beginning thereof, in the 4th and 13th Jubilee, they were dispersed from the land of Shinar. Now, in the previous video, I was showing all the historical sites and archaeological finds that were in between the city of Asher and Babylon. And that's when I stumbled across this particular city named Samarra. Now, the city of Samarra is located about 125 kilometers north of Baghdad on the Tigris River. Samarra was the capital of the Islamic world from 874 to 892. At that time, ruled the Caliphate of Abbasid. Samarra was also one of the largest cities in the time of Mesopotamia. This is actually the city of Samarra, and you see this tower right here. Hold on one second, let me get a better picture. And this was actually turned into a mosque. They built it within these walls that you see here to the right. But this isn't the Tower of Babel because it's too small. And in my previous video, I said, where did they get the inspiration to build something that looked like this? Now, in our canonical scriptures, the 66 books, we only get 9 verses about the Tower of Babel. And it doesn't even give us a location. It just says the land of Shinar. Now, in the Bible, the land of Shinar refers to the region of Babylonia, specifically the plain where the city of Babel and other cities like Erech and Akkad were located, and where the Tower of Babel was built. Now, the location of the land of Shinar is generally understood to be the area of southern Mesopotamia, corresponding to modern-day Iraq, specifically the region around the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Now, this is what I stumbled across. Now, between the ancient cities of Asher and Babylon in Mesopotamia, significant towns and cities included Nineveh, Arbela, and Nimrod, or Kala, among others which were a part of the Assyrian heartland. Now you remember the story of Jonah, where Jonah was instructed to go to Nineveh and tell them to repent, and they did. But it took Jonah to sit inside of the belly of a whale for 3 days and 3 nights, and the whale had to spit him out for him to actually go to Nineveh and do what God instructed him to do. But the Ninevites ended up repenting for their sins and dressed in sackcloth. You can go read that story. But there are 2 other cities that it points out, Arbela and Nimrod. So let's take a look at those. First, let's go to Nimrod, or Kala. And that name's interesting anyway, because it's Nimrod or Nimrod. You know, Nimrod was the first AC of the world, and he was the son of Cush, and Cush was the son of Ham. And you remember that Ham uncovered his father's nakedness and stole the garments from him? Yeah, that guy. Now, Kala, known in the modern times as Nimrod, was an ancient Assyrian city located in northern Iraq, south of Mosul, and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site in consideration. Now, of course, this is 2025, so you can use Google Earth and go find anything. And what I'm trying to do is show you the remains of the Tower of Babel, because it's in this land, and I'm going to show it to you. But first, let's look here and see what we can find. So here we have an interesting carving of like a half man, half horse with some wings on it. And you got 2 big old statues right here. That right there is just crazy. Then you have like a picture of like these ancient temples that were built in the city, and then you have these 2 little mounds that sits over here. These are also like little mini towers. Doesn't really look like the Tower of Babel would have been built here. Let's take a look at the aerial shot of this particular city. Yeah, so it's got like greenlands all the way around. I guess that's like farming land and stuff like that. But this is the aerial view of the city itself. Yeah, I don't think that the Tower of Babel was built there. Now, we already know that Nineveh can't be the place that the Tower of Babel was built, because it didn't tell us that that's where it was. So now let's check out Arbela. Now, Arbela, also known as Ibril, is a city in the Kurdish region of northern Iraq with a history dating back for over 4,000 years, and was a significant city in the Assyrian Empire. 4,000 years, they say. Actually, it says over 4,000 years. That would kind of line up with the Tower of Babel, right? Wow, that's like a big old open doorway right there, right? Like, look how small these people are to that. This is in Ibril, by the way. And this is kind of like one of the rows that they have in Ibril, and, you know, they got these walls that sit up. Wait a minute. That's interesting. I don't know if y'all see what I see, but just wait for a second. That's interesting. See all these little lines and stuff right there? Those look like bricks. And this is like modern day. This is the road that we just seen a picture of right there. That's kind of weird. That's interesting as well. It's on like this big old mound, and it's a city built all the way on top of this mountain. And what is that right there?